The Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
There's a new show on Netflix which I just checked out yesterday, and it's called it's a Tom Brady roast.
Oh, okay.
Rove's seen it. There's a lot of American comedians get involved, and there's a lot of
It's hosted by Kevin Hart.
Yeah, he does an amazing job.
But also, every single person on that stage, it's not just roasting Tom Brady, big American sports star, but also every single person who gets up is roasted by every other person who gets up.
I don't get that.
No one is safe on that stage. And it's a very eclectic mix
group of people
of characters that come up. And at one point, there's a Kardashian.
There is a Kardashian.
For no apparent reason.
I know, it was really weird. She was there, and I'm talking about Kim being in the audience, and all of a sudden they ushered her up on stage, and she was to make a toast. This is what happened when she got up on stage.
Well, I know a lot of people make fun of your height.
She couldn't even get on the way.
So that's Kevin Hart jumping in to save her.
Yes.
So that crowd...
All right, Kevin.
Not
This
fast.
is very different to what everyone else was getting. Everyone, people are copying it, but it's all done in good fun. Everyone's laughing along, and everyone who's copying it is laughing along. This is just a crowd. This is worse than heckling. This is booing.
This is
I've
booing.
had bad crowds. A bad crowd is silence.
that's what I said to Shaun this morning. If you're doing comedy, the worst thing people can do is be indifferent.
Yeah, or days where, I don't know if
they
it's
just stare at you.
If it's a derby, but it's an Eagles home game and you would have been out there, you get the ball, as
You
a
kick a
popular
goal.
player, the opposition boo you.
Or there's just silence when you kick a goal. That must be weird.
Yeah, that is weird. But I can accept that because that's the field of battle. But when I'm just walking down the street and people are booing me, yelling stuff at me, that takes a little bit.
And when they're family members, it really hurts.
That's Shaun turning up to the usual family reunion.
You can get in a situation where you bomb in some of these events.
Yeah.
She didn't get a chance to operate, but
I struggled at my daughter's school.
Oh.
There is nothing more terrifying than having to present a talk in front of children, because they will pull no punches.
I know.
Words hurt, kids. Words hurt.
But who
stole my
else was
lunch
speaking
money.
at the school? Like, do you know what I
No
mean?
one.
Like, there's not going to be anybody, like, as far as
They
getting
don't
a
care,
parent to come in,
They-
you're going to be way better than
I hadn't done Tiffany's at that point.
Tiffany's dad, who's an accountant. Like, come on.
Well, that was it. I don't know. The kid before probably there's a firefighter or something exciting like that, or I'm Dan Murphy or hey kids,
John Bunnings.
But like I'm just a guy who tells jokes.
Bluey.
And anyway,
I
struggled. I really struggled. And I feel like it's not just performers. It's not just sports people. It's not just Kardashians. I'm sure everyday people have been in similar situations.
Well, I witnessed one of my friends give one of the worst 21st speeches I have ever seen.
Here we go.
It wasn't a big 21st either, so he could see everyone's eyes as he was doing it, and he thought he was being really funny. So, and the guy whose birthday it was, they'd travelled together, and so he did have a lot of stories, but what he didn't do was edit them for what was appropriate for the crowd. And the guy's grandmother was there, and the parents were there, and everybody, because it was a fairly small gathering, was aware of the grandparents there. And when he started telling some of the more Sporty is the word. Stories that everybody just went.
Everyone
froze. They literally froze. Everybody held their breath because the grandmother was hearing this, and the guy whose birthday it was a bit of a golden boy. Like he was quite perfect.
Oh,
like he's the person that I know in my life who's most like Dr. Chris Brown. He's like that. Like he looked like that.
Is it Chris Brown?
It's not Chris Brown. No, it's not. Although his name is Chris. Not Dr. Chris Brown, but looked like that. Like a big triathlete-looking guy, beautiful head, magnificent, kind to animals, everything. He was perfect. And then when somebody's telling some really bawdy stories about him in front of his nana, awkward.
Heartbreaking.
Awkward.
But it's like a school performance.
Yes.
Yes, having to give a speech.
Work award nights.
Awards nights.
People make mistakes there. We want to talk about the people who might have... they bombed out.
Yeah.
They had their
Have
opportunity.
you bombed?
Yeah.
We want to know.
Whether people booed or not, maybe they were just perplexed. And
Sometimes it could be silent. Sometimes
maybe
it's
it's
like...
just that pissy, the tiny pissy
It's a
clap.
school play and you get out and you forget your
Yeah.
lines
Oh,
and it's you
Rove.
and a spotlight and a bunch of just beady eyeballs boring holes into you. It's awful.
Claire's in Wembley. Hello.
Hi, hello. Sorry.
Claire,
Hello, Claire.
okay.
You didn't know what your name was, Claire,
Claire's
did you?
not your real name, is it, Claire? But we'll call you Claire.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, who bombed big time?
It was the mother of the groom.
Okay.
The mother of the groom.
What happened?
Yeah. I was at a wedding at the old brewery. Beautiful venue. It was an elegant wedding. The groom's father didn't want to make a speech, so the mother stepped up and she said, I can't believe that 23 years ago we were putting little Johnny to bed with a dummy and tonight he will be doing the same.
Oh, hey, look. I would have laughed. Not a bad joke. As jokes
good.
go, that's a pretty good gag.
And it was real. The whole room went silent. No one, we all just looked at each other. We didn't know what. I've got goosebumps thinking about it now.
So was it silence or was it one of those
silent.
awful... Oh, that's worse. You get those awful sort of sharp intakes of breath.
There were a few of those, but it was,
Claire-
it was such an elegant, beautiful wedding.
You know when someone's making a spiel and they say something like that, but they say it in a way where you laugh, or people say something like that and you know that they've got some feeling behind it.
Oh, yeah, like there's a bit of venom.
It sounds to me like maybe this was a wedding where not everyone approved of the choice of
bride.
the couple.
Oh.
And also, she had to get up on the spot. What Dad just suddenly goes, I'm out. Maybe he was a smart guy, read the room and went, this is going to go full Kardashian. I need to get out of here.
Thanks, Claire. Cora, hello.
Hello.
Hey,
Cora.
Cora. Tell us your bombing story.
So it wasn't me, but it was my cast. So I was directing a pantomime.
Oh,
Yes.
lovely.
Gone December, yeah.
Yes.
And obviously the audience talk back and stuff like that. It's usually really funny. But somebody dropped a line and there was lots of people on stage. And I'm in the sound box. I can't do anything to help them. And it felt like it was about 5 minutes, but it was probably only 30 to 60 seconds. But there was just silence and everyone was just looking at each other and the audience were quiet and nobody did anything and nobody picked up the next line and it was just really, really awful.
Now, are they school kids?
Ground to a halt.
Is this just amateur theatre production, but they're older?
Yeah,
Is
amateur theatre production.
Oh, my God.
Cora, hilarious.
They should know better.
Yeah,
Where's the
that's
support from the on-stage fellow
But
performers?
also from the audience. It's a pantomime. You're meant to yell out.
He's behind you. Just help out.
Yes.
I didn't know that sort of pantomime was, that you had to get involved as
Oh, that's the
audience.
fun of it.
Yes, the call and response of there's a villain on stage
Yes.
and they're lurking in the background.
Yes.
Oh, he's behind
And
you.
they're pretending they can't see him. Yeah.
Yeah, is it over this way? No.
Yeah.
So what happened when everybody got off stage? Did everyone have a crack at the poor person who forgot the lines? Or did anyone wear it as, I'm sorry, I wasn't there to help?
Everyone was like, who dropped that line? And then we finally figured out who it was.
To be honest, it was Rob Mills and Juliet, wasn't it? It was Rob Mills. Just say his name. It's okay. It's the only way he'll learn.
Good on you, Cora. Thank you. Annalise, hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, good, Annalise.
All right, who bombed big time, Annalise?
It was a few years ago at my sister's wedding, and one of her friends had made a joke, not realising that my sister's now husband didn't know, regarding kind of one of her exes.
It's a classic.
There was a crossover between her ex and when she first started dating her husband.
Yes.
She kind of made a joke about how she would kind of see them both at the same time, and it's so funny. And his face kind of just dropped, and I think everyone kind of knew. And I think afterwards it was just an unspoken thing. I don't know if they had a private conversation about it, but everyone just...
They
had a private
conversation about it for sure. Oh, that's awkward.
did.
That makes my teeth hurt.
I know.
That's really painful.
Yeah.
It's that, yeah.
So is the bride at
Not
any
great
point
on
having
my
to get up to
behalf.
is she doing the, finger across the throat,
Yeah.
just cut move?
No, literally, I could just see both of their faces,
Yeah.
and I was like, someone's got to intercept here.
Yeah,
because
it's the grimmest
everything
smile.
was going well until then.
It's not a great start to a marriage when you sleep in separate beds on the first night, is it?
No,
Yeah, at least
definitely not.
At least the first groom was going to sleep with a dummy.
That's right, at least.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean podcast.
Bring your cousin to work day is off to a great start.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Rove
Ruins
McManus.
all around.
Harry's
Good
nodding.
morning.
Harry's nodding.
He would know.
That's good news.
It's
Harry.
very lovely to be here. Look, to take a listener for a peek behind the curtain. There's new. I haven't seen the new studios yet.
pretty flash, isn't
It is
it?
beautiful. There is just a sliver of natural light as the sun comes
Barely.
up over the streets.
The
of
windows are
Perth.
heavily tinted, so you won't
Very
be seeing
heavily
much
tinted.
of that.
I thought it was my aging cataracts, but no.
I don't
It's
know.
great to be here.
I'd rather the natural light, Rove, particularly in winter because it gets bloody dark. How
Yeah.
do you feel? Harry, you're saying no.
Why would you want natural light when we've got something like this?
Oh, it's
Oh,
just
okay.
party
We've gone
lights.
into disco
Okay.
mode.
It's like we're at Grandma Max with the fairy lights going off there, Rove.
I think those fairy party lights are just I don't know what's happened to them. They've disappeared. I'm in a place at the moment that I was staying somewhere recently that had the fairy lights. The old school. When someone has
big
an
globes.
idea in a cartoon,
Oh, yes.
and there's a light bulb above
Yes,
their head.
yes,
It's
yes,
a
yes.
bunch of those,
I have
except
them in
there's
my
a red one
backyard.
and a green
Oh.
one and a blue one.
I know exactly what you mean. That was
We
your
grew up with
old
those
school
in our
party
grandma.
lights.
Yes. They don't flash.
No.
They're just
They're
a
just
colour.
different colours.
Can I throw another thing that we don't have at the
Please
moment?
do.
Yes, here it is. When you used to walk out of Grandma's house,
Yes.
you'd walk through the back door, right, and they'd have that thing that was above the door arch, which was just those
Plastic strips.
Plastic strips.
It was a
To keep the
curtain of
flies-
plastic
keeps
strips.
the flies out.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's what it's for.
different colours.
You know why? Because they had a literal outhouse. They had a toilet that was out the back.
Yes.
And as kids, there was nothing more terrifying than having to do a wee in the middle of the night.
I can tell you
and
what's
get up
more
and walk
terrifying
outside.
because my grandmother.
Emptying the chamber pot under
No,
the
no,
bed.
she had that, but to get to it, you had to go past the Swan. She had a swan called Swanee.
Hey,
not-
Swan.
wait a minute, Nick.
Wait. A literal
A
living
literal
bird.
living swan who did not want you to go to the toilet.
Called Swan.
And so he would hiss at you as you're making your journey to the outhouse. Terrifying.
looking at me, Swan.
There you
It's
go.
like
Like a guard swan?
Yes, like a guard swan.
And what
Yeah.
would it do? Hiss at you?
Yeah, he'd
What
run
is it
at
up
you.
all- what is this swan doing? Is it just up all night
No
going?
matter
"Those
what time of
pesky
day
kids."
you went to the toilet, Swanee would be like,
Yeah, they hiss.
Yeah, they hiss.
Oh,
Yeah,
when a
and they
swan's
run.
coming at
They
you.
lower their head and they run at you as fast as they can. It's like, hey, Swan, you've got wings.
Oh my
exactly.
gosh.
Yeah. So that's more terrifying.
So if you go to a Sydney game, you get flashbacks.
Yes, exactly. Can't do that.
Can't do that.
And also, I've just got a really strong bladder now. Don't go to the
You know,
toilet at
that's
night.
it. That's
your
it.
pelvic floor has never been
Incredible.
put into question
Thank
at
you,
all. Let me
Swanee.
make that very clear now. I would like to hear from any listeners who had a weird guard animal pet. Goose, apparently.
Yeah,
that's
goose.
a big one.
Mum
Yeah.
and Dad had the geese.
I feel your parents have had every
here we
animal
go.
under the
So
sun.
we were just talking about this yesterday. So there was World Alpaca Day.
Yes.
You brought to our attention.
Oh, this week, a whole week of
A
it.
whole
But
celebration.
your mother
Wow.
has alpacas.
Yeah, I was just telling a story of one who was very old, just recently
Yes.
passed away.
Yes.
And
Lived a
went-
very happy and full life, though.
absolutely.
Now at that point, at the risk of jumping in,
Yes.
is there a brief moment where you go, "Oh, do we take the fur? Does it need
That's
the
a
fur
really
in,
good point.
in the alpaca afterlife?
What
In
happened?
alpaca Valhalla.
What happened to the alpaca, Sean?
Well, I went over to Mum and Dad's last Thursday, and I looked at my brother Ben, and he looked a bit like he'd been through the ringer. And I said, "How you going, mate? You got out here early?" And he was just dirty, and he was just done. And so Dad made him dig a massive
What?
alpaca. Because they're not small. They're not like little sheep. So
No,
Dad,
this is like a llama.
Yes,
It's giant.
yeah, it's like a small horse,
It
essentially.
would be.
So that's a
It
big
would be
hole.
less difficult to bury a human being. I want this on record. I think, without any
So you
real
think, but
education
you
in
don't
this.
know?
I mean, from what I hear, like a human being's grave would be less complicated
That's right.
you've got to
Because you
take
need
it-
the legs.
the
That's
big
you got
right.
the head. You got the head. Yeah, the length of the head.
Yeah, why wouldn't you just do
And
it
it's
in
the
your
white.
backyard?
You remember the white? You've seen it. The
Yes,
white one.
yes.
So yeah, that's a fair size. So
But then
poor Ben.
how
And then
heavy are
it's got to
they?
be deep enough to cover it over.
That's right. Jeez, that's a lot
it
of
would have been
effort.
hundreds
How long
of
did that
kilos.
take him? That's a punishment.
It was hours.
Do you have like a little earth mover, like a little bobcat or something?
No, he had a shovel.
No, that was
Oh
it,
my
just had the
gosh, who
shovel.
guards the house now?
The other two
The other
alpacas.
two, yeah, the other two.
See, I had what are we looking? We're looking at alpacas online now.
Yeah.
I know someone who had a cockatoo, like a guard. I was going to say a guard dog cockatoo, a guard cockatoo.
Yes.
That would screech like. Well, I guess like a burglar alarm if someone came into the house.
Okay, yeah, right. So
and they, I can't remember what the code was, but they had a code to let the.
That's the one. So we've got one up on the screen. That's the
Sean
one.
has just seen an alpaca come up on the screen behind us in the fancy
That
new
looks
studio.
exactly
Yeah,
like
it
the
was
one
like
that's
that,
passed
but it
away.
had buck teeth.
Hey, Mel's called in from Huntingdale who had two geese.
Hello, Mel. Mel.
Hey, how you going?
Good,
Now,
Mel.
now
Tell us
Rove
about
threw
your-
it out there.
I'm fascinated. Tell me about your guard geese. You had two geese. What was your guard animal?
So their names were Hector and Pector, so I got to pick those as a kid.
Great.
Yeah, good. No, and you did
so,
well.
So with that, we used to have these big glass windows in the lounge room, and we literally had free entertainment because you'd watch these two geese wing flapping though, and they'd be chasing our little long-haired chihuahua down the yard. So,
It's hard to know who to barrack for
Now,
there, isn't it?
were they pets or were they just wayward farm animals?
no, they were pets. So at that stage, I lived in the Blue Mountains in Sydney, so we had a pretty big property there. So, yeah, we had lots of animals. The ranger would basically drop off animals at us if they didn't have a home.
Oh,
what a great
that's
place.
nice.
Now,
Yeah.
Mel, the question has to be asked, which name came first? Was it the Pector or the Hector?
Oh, look, hey, I'm in my 50s now. I can't remember way back
Oh,
then, but
no, I
yeah,
hate to
look,
do
they
that to
match.
you.
I always used to have like matching names for the pets, so it made it easier. I think.
Yeah.
And what happened when we said goodbye to the geese? Was there a temptation to... did someone have to bury them? Was there a temptation? I'm fascinated with the idea of when a pet, if an edible pet dies.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
What's the protocol?
Around Christmas.
Oh, okay. So,
Because we had a rabbit. Sorry, Mel, to cut you off. We had. You can hold the line. We had a rabbit, Mel. And it was a big fat rabbit, and it was named Bellamy after the Goodies episode in a very deep cut for older viewers.
I'm with you.
Okay. And Bellamy died, and we don't know quite how. We think it was a
Natural
cold snap.
causes.
cold snap.
And Bellamy was a big rabbit. I don't mean to body shame a rabbit, but he was a large rabbit. And we couldn't get him out of his hutch because he used to be able to squeeze himself out the door. But when we sort of had the slightly rigor mortis frozen bit stiff,
Yeah.
it was a bit stiff. A little
You had to
rabbit
crane him out.
bunnysicle, as you would. But anyway, we had to rip the wire off the front of the cage. And as we're digging the hole, I don't know who came up with the idea, but there was someone like, could we eat him? Like, he said, good.
There's a lot of meat on those.
There's a lot of meat on them bones. But no, Bellamy made it into the veggie patch with many another one. So
Mel, did you eat your geese? Is what Rove wants to know.
Oh, she's
No,
50,
no,
she
we
doesn't
didn't. We
remember.
actually moved over to WA and they ended up going to a nature reserve wildlife park. So
In inverted commas.
Oh, yeah.
Big air
That's-
quotes around that
That's
one.
the
Mel.
geese equivalent of going to the farm.
I had a friend who had a wombat, a very aggressive wombat.
Yes.
That wasn't theirs. Like, it just lived... It wasn't a
No,
pet.
you don't own wombats.
You can't own a wombat unless you're on a country practice. And another deep cut to a show from the 80s.
Frank died. I don't want to...
Oh, yes. His name is Brian Wenzel.
No, but...
I miss the days when people would
That's
have
a great
their
show.
credits in the start of a show, so you know
That's right.
who each
Yes,
character
he passed
was.
away at the age of 94 anyway.
That's pretty
R.I.P.
good. Anyway, there was a wombat, and there it is. Da-na-na-na. Da-da-da-da.
What about the wombat?
The wombat would chase people when they came to the house.
Oh, see, I'd be happy about that.
But it wasn't their wombat.
No.
It was just a wombat going, you know what I'm going to do?
I've taken this role on.
It's like a vigilante wombat. Wore a little mask.
Yes.
Didn't know which wombat it was. You go out into the bush, you go, which
Could be any
Which
wombat.
of you? It's the one going, where is she?
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Nathan, Nat and Sean, except the part of Nathan Morris being played by Rove McManus
Look,
today.
I don't want to be a prima donna, but it's an hour into this and I've just asked for my first water.
I mean...
no, we didn't have anything for you.
There we go.
That's
Who
pretty
am I, the
full on.
rock arriving 8 hours late and then urinating into a bottle?
yeah.
Come on.
Exactly.
Who are you? It is Met Gala Day today, Rove. You're a big star.
fashionable.
You been?
I haven't been to the Met Gala, but it's all about the red carpet, the
Yeah.
fashion. People go very over the top for
Yes.
this.
So today the theme is something to do with the garden.
What we've seen so far, though, that people aren't... There's no meat dress, you know what I'm saying, from
No.
Lady
Meat dress.
Gaga.
No. So
but
we're
they
looking-
look amazing.
We're looking
They're
at two now.
beautiful.
So J-Lo
Stunning.
and Zendaya, unbelievable. Like her frock is unbelievable.
Zendaya's got a bit of the grapes fake
Yeah.
grapes going
So
on.
hers does look like a little bit garden oriented. So she's more on theme than say J-Lo, who's just wearing a stunning frock.
Yeah.
And Jules. Okay, so we've got Chris and Elsa.
of
Also
course.
don't look like they're in the garden.
I don't
No.
like her headwear.
I feel like Chris has shaved his chest for the event. He's looking very smooth.
Was he hairier last time you saw him?
Last time I saw his chest, it was a bit hairy.
So was
now
Elsa's.
he's one of the panel for this year that helped decide what the theme was going to be.
Oh, and then he hasn't dressed to it at all.
He's got earthly tones. Gwendolyn Christie looks... Now, this is from Game of Thrones, Star Wars.
She looks very...
Rove, what is she playing Game of Thrones?
She was
through the looking
Brianna
glass.
the Knight.
Oh, right.
The large knight.
Yes, she was a large knight.
And Phantasma.
She kind of looks like the Queen of Hearts.
Phasma. Katy Perry's wearing a key. Looks very Alice in Wonderland. Her hair is... I want to say moist.
Yeah, looks like
Damp.
she
Look,
ran.
just in a word, damp.
No,
Katy
you're allowed to
Perry
use
was quite
moist,
damp.
but you're
Rove,
only
I
allowed to
think
say it once.
she was playing under the sprinklers before she
That's
arrived.
what it was. You know, it's always
Kylie Minogue.
Kylie looks incredible.
Looking nothing to do with
Nah.
the garden.
Well, see, again, it could
I don't
be
know
like
about that one.
Frosty. It looks very Frozen, like she looks
Yes.
very Elsa from Frozen
She does
kind of
actually.
look.
Yeah.
Very
yeah.
pret-a-porter. Taika Waititi always.
I know.
Always puts
and
the
Rita
edit on.
Ora, how is that dress staying on?
She looks like she's wearing the plastic curtains that we were
Fly
mentioning
strip
earlier.
curtains,
Fly
yes.
strip
Fly strip
curtains.
curtains.
and no knickers. No,
It
nothing.
seems... I was taken by Taika's what looks like full leather suit, tie, shirt combo.
Shoes, the whole lot.
Many Chesterfields were killed for that
To
outfit.
me, more. I mean, that's at least floral.
She
is
could
floral.
scare away predators. She's like a large butterfly. The wings, spiky
with a
wings.
spike. Yeah.
Very spiky wings.
So in that photo, though, look at the lasso over to the left.
Yeah, who's
What's
that?
going on
Got
there?
some kind of weird
There's
headwear.
another floral arrangement going over her shoulder. I don't know if they're meant to match or not. How embarrassing if you turned up dressed as like a floral butterfly with spikes. I need to turn around and go,
Someone's
the
wearing
person's
exactly the
headdress
same
looks
thing."
exactly the same. What is this?
Hey, Rove, you were asking before about the Met Gala. What I would expect you would know what actually happens
No,
inside
I know
there.
what the Met Gala is.
Yes.
I know what the Met is. I know that it's all about the fashion on the red carpet. But I asked the very legitimate question of, so
What
once
happens?
they get inside, then what?
I've heard people complaining about the food before. So presumably it's a sit-down dinner
Right.
where they don't get to eat enough.
Well, half of those outfits you
I
can't
know,
sit
how
down
do you
in.
sit down in them?
at all.
Yeah.
I'd worry for
Well,
to me
Taika
more.
could spill half of his food all over him and he'd be fine.
He's a very practical dresser. Chris Hemsworth, though, all in cream.
Oh,
He
and
looks
it's
like
going to
he's
go right down the cleft of the chest into his...
He looks like he's going to a Byron Bay wedding, is what he looks
does,
like.
he does.
Doesn't
Probably
he?
come from a Byron Bay. It's going straight for it. You couldn't get there by chopper, obviously. You'd need 2 to 3 choppers at
Who
least.
thought about it?
3 choppers.
I thought Mindy Kaling's outfit, Mindy Kaling from The Office, the US Office,
She looks amazing,
great.
but not garden related.
Well, it's more... Let's have a look. What's the theme? Harry, you know what the theme is.
Sam, the theme? Garden of something?
Garden of...
Like Sleeping Beauty.
No,
It's not
something.
Sleeping
It's something. It's got
I'm
garden in
going
it.
to go on the Gergs.
I'm
gonna
going.
go on the
It's too late. It is... It doesn't... I don't know.
We read it this morning, Amy.
The
What
Garden
was it?
of Time.
There we go. The Garden of
And
Time.
what does that
That
represent?
doesn't mean anything.
Inspired by J.G. Ballard's short story, duh.
Oh, okay, of
From
course, that one.
1962.
Read
Rove.
it sunny last night.
Is there something in the story about killer butterflies?
Yeah.
Or I went to a Byron... Lo that I went to a Byron Bay wedding with killer butterflies asunder.
You know what? I mean,
spilt many a drink on a Chesterfield lounge and skinned
Villain's
alive.
behind you.
It's
I know that
behind you. It's
Hemsy is
behind
your
you.
mate, but would you wear black shoes with that suit?
I would never tell Chris Hemsworth how to wear anything, but I think he pulls that off. I thought it was.
It's a brown
really,
shoe.
really dark
It's a brown shoe type of outfit, though.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It is.
guess.
Let's be
Or
honest.
some sort of, light leather loafer.
What's the nearest thing we have to a Met Gala here? Would it be the
Here in
Brownlow?
Perth?
The Oasis Ball.
What was it we did? The Ronald McDonald House Ball.
Ronald McDonald House Ball.
People look pretty fancy there.
No.
Telethon
looked
ball. Would
amazing.
people get into the telethon ball?
Yeah, but they don't.
What about
go
in Australia?
over the
Just
top.
like the Brownlow, maybe?
Yeah.
The wags at the Brownlow.
The Lokies.
The Lokies? Sure, the Lokies to an extent.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'd love a theme. Geez, if anyone wants to have an event, why don't you guys organise something? Why
We
don't we do?
should.
And here's the thing.
We have no follow through, just so you know.
But this is who needs it? This is just pure on-air content. That's all we need right at this point. Why don't we organise an event
Yes.
where you there's a theme? Mm-hmm. We'll pick a random poem, like, I don't know.
Okay, yeah, right.
The Jabberwocky, I don't know. The Green Sheet book, something. Just something in a simple rhyming couplet. And we pick a theme, and you've got to wear the most outlandish outfit as you can to the event. But that's it. Once you get to the event, then you go home. There's no actual event.
Okay, you just
There's
walk
a red carpet.
the red carpet.
Yeah, these things are like, red carpet arrivals at 7.
Yes, and then
but you're done by 7:05.
It's very...
I'm in for that.
Rove, you know what it is? It's book week. It's what it is.
Oh, my God, it's book week. The Met Ball is book week.
It is.
Oh, my God, that just blew my mind.
Yeah, it is. The assembly that happens,
book week
start of
for
school.
grown-ups.
It's book week for grown-ups. Nat, you've cracked the code.
I don't know what book J-Lo's come as, but she looks lovely.
Well, there's the blue fish. That's the red fish. Maybe that's something from
Dr. Seuss.
Dr. Seuss. There we
She looks
go.
great. She looks too good to be there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
Nearly time for us to get out of here, but we've had a great day with Rove.
Official text from Mum, I am the favourite child.
Oh, okay. That's
But did she also text that to all the other children?
It's in the group chat, but I'm pretty sure it was meant for me, though.
Hey, Rove, before
I
we
know
let
that
you
winky
go-
face anyway.
Yeah.
Before we let you go, we were just talking off air a second ago, and we started talking about Met Gala, and then we went on to people's relationships that are in the spotlight.
Yes, that's right.
Actors and the like, and them working with each other
Yes.
along the journey. And you were going to tell us a story, but names have been left aside other than one famous actor.
Well, I think it's
Can you tell us this story?
I feel this isn't telling tales out of school. I feel this story has been told publicly, and I hope it has. But I have a friend that was in a movie with Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, how good
Do
she!
you know Adam Sandler?
And she got to do a nude scene.
Oh.
It was Jennifer Aniston's first ever on-camera nude role.
Whoa!
And then they saw the finished movie and went, not as good as we'd hoped. And so Jennifer said, you know what, I don't think it's worth going nude for this after all. So can we cut the nude scene, please? Which they did.
So when they said not as good as we'd hoped, were they referring to...
The film.
Okay,
the film
right.
wasn't great.
Not the nude bodies.
No.
Right.
But it just meant that, my friend has essentially had a nude scene
with Jennifer Aniston.
Well, not even a nude scene, just has been nude with Jennifer Aniston.
And there's no
Nothing
proof.
to show for it.
There's no photographic evidence. I don't know if she filmed something on her phone at the time, or they got a selfie in the moment. But
Was the movie released or not?
Yes, the movie Wanderlust. Kerry Kenny Silver is her name, is the actor's name. So there you go.
Didn't even make the cut. Oh, you'd be flat.
Well,
if you're going to go,
but also the whole day you would be going, this is about to happen.
Yes.
We do this scene together and we're nude together. And then
it's Jennifer Aniston.
But here's the other thing. Then you go home and you tell all your mates, guess what I did? Hey, Rove, I was nude with Jennifer Aniston. I'm like, really? She goes, yeah, wait for well, we ended up cutting the scene. Oh, did you?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, well, we've all been nude with Jennifer Aniston. But the scene got cut. Oh, sure.
Oldest story in the book.
Yeah.
All right, well, I got to get out of here. I've got to finish making my dog's birthday cake.
Oh, you're doing that.
It is Lewis's 11th birthday today. Big day, obviously.
Oh, big day.
Rove, do you celebrate your dog's birthday?
Yes, we do. We do. She gets a big bone, she gets a squeaky toy, and she gets one of those dog biscuit birthday cake things.
Yes.
And then the next day wonders, what's happening today?
Yeah.
And then realises it's not an everyday
massive
thing.
downer. Yeah.
Does he blow out the candles?
I mean, he probably could.
Slobber?
Yeah.
Oh, Nat's going to the next level.
Oh, he's having a party.
He's having a party at the park.
And there's a cake for the people to enjoy that celebrates his interests, and then there'll be treats for the
What's
dogs
the theme?
to enjoy.
Met Gala style. What do the dogs have to wear? Yeah. If you're driving around the streets of Perth today, anywhere, and you see dogs dressed as garden implements, it's Nat's
Lewis is
dog's
going as
birthday
a shovel.
party.
He likes to dig, and I will have to carry him up the stairs if need be too.
Well, they'll all go dressed as trees and just wee on each other. That's the problem.
I've been to that party. Ross, hello.
Hey, Ross.
Great time to come in. Hey, guys.
What are you wearing today?
Just a checkered shirt.
He's come as a lumberjack in the garden.
Oh, there
Yeah,
you
yeah.
go.
Very Met Gala, Ross.
You're a tree murderer.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Who's been your favourite outfit at the Met Gala?
I just looked at it before just to see if there's anyone we're playing that it related to. I don't know. They look all. It's a bit fancy for my.
Is it a bit fancy?
Bit fancy for me to
Joy
get.
Savanas won a little cropped vest.
That's
I don't
cute.
know how it
That's
relates
just
to
Troy
garden.
casual. That's just Troy smart casual.
They actually, most of them look pretty normalised.
Yes, it looks pretty glamorous.
Glamorous,
it looks kind of Oscars kind of vibe, doesn't it? Yeah.
They look great.
As we were saying before, it didn't seem everybody was on theme for what is meant to be like
garden
secret,
theme? What was it?
Yeah, secret garden theme.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. What's the difference between a garden and a secret garden? I just answered
You
you.
don't know
Can't
about
tell you.
the second
Can't
one.
tell you.
Yeah,
If you don't know about the secret garden,
How's his form?
that's it.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.